All right, folks, here we go. So normally I start this off by saying on the Rothman Orthopedic Guest Line, our good friend Natalie Egenolf joins us. Hi, Natalie. How are you?
Oh, hi, Mark. Thanks for having me.
So let me just let the people in behind the curtain for a second. We just talked for like an hour already, but now we'll talk about sports.
Yes.
Well, because we're friends. We were catching up a bit. We got people not
lots
seeing
to
people.
talk about. Lots to talk about. Lots of life. Lots of love. Congrats. I'm sure you talked about it on your show.
Mm-hmm.
About it, right?
Yeah. The kids do. Yeah. Father of two, soon to be.
I knew Mark when he was a young tyke back in his early radio days, and look at him now.
And I did not have the handlebar mustache. You always say I had a handlebar mustache when you came into my office, and technically I hired you at WIP to be on the promotions team as I was the promotions director, but it was a full goatee. I didn't shave the handlebar until the following morning, right before Wing Bowl.
Well, maybe that it just scarred me for life, and that's why I remember that.
It's tattooed on your brain.
It's tattooed on my brain. Yes, that's my first memory from working in sports talk radio is your handlebar mustache at Wing Bowl, which is already traumatizing enough for a 19-year-old.
Well, hold on. Technically, your first memory of me would be my awesome office.
Yes, that's true. Frank Sinatra posters, whole nine. I thought you were going to be 65 years old when you walked in.
Yeah. Speak of our man. Doesn't he look amazing? He looks amazing, doesn't he?
Did you see that there's they just put a statue in Hoboken?
Oh, yeah, up in Hobo. Yeah. They put a statue of him up there. Yeah, because that's where
I have to get up there to visit it.
We got to make our pilgrimage.
Yes, the pilgrimage to go, and I will. Is it offensive if I say I will lay spaghetti at his feet? Is that offensive?
I absolve you. I have the power.
What do Italians bring each other as gifts of finest wheat, if you will?
No, you just bring a nice Panettone. That's it. Nice Panettone. You drop it right there. Nice bottle of wine. You're fine.
Locatella.
Locatelli. Sweet Jesus.
I'm Irish, okay? I'll bring him a potato.
See, when I said I was going to hit record, we were going to talk about sports. Anyway.
We're talking about sports. We're getting there.
Anyway, this is the problem when you interview your friends. Anyway, Natalie Egenolf, once again, ladies and gentlemen. So here's the deal. Here's what I got for you. All right, here's the first question. Here's the first sports question. Watching the Philadelphia Eagles this year, what has been, I've asked a lot of people this question. I want to get your take. What is the most impressive thing about this Eagles season?
I think, honestly, the accountability factor. And I really do. And I mean, I was hard on him all year. I do like the way Nick Sirianni has handled himself in his first year with all the scrutiny for all the crazy things he said, kind of making those adjustments, owning up to his mistakes. He really just, I think, tried to embrace the city. And I think that for a first-year coach, that was a very wise move. I think sometimes he went a little too far, but I think overall, he was able to get the city and the fans to hang through the season with him. I didn't think anybody was really, really ever they were totally out on him, but not quite. And then as the season went on, you're kind of this guy's figuring it out along the way. So that's what's impressed me the most, I think.
I will say, I definitely used the line during the season that Nick Sirianni was learning on the job.
Yes.
He learned quick. I give him that credit. He didn't take a full year of a botched season. He took 7 games, really.
No, it took, and you kind of saw it, and you could hear it, in his press conferences when he would talk and he would say, I'm seeing these things and I'm learning as I'm going along. And then even, Jonathan Gannon, the way that he kind of started the season, it even seemed like he started to figure it out at the end. So it's you kind of saw the team come together to win. And then now they're playing Tom Brady on Sunday.
Is there anything that I know everyone wants to beat Tom Brady, but being that the Eagles have done it in the Super Bowl, and they lost to him one time too, but nobody remembers. That was a million years ago. Tom Brady was 17 when he beat the Eagles in that Super Bowl. So actually he was 26 and 27. But anyway, when I go back and I look at it, Philadelphia just really embraces the idea of beating Tom Brady. And I think it has to go down to not just the Super Bowl the Eagles beat him in, but the fact that he dropped a pass, Nick Foles caught a touchdown pass, and then he snubbed Nick Foles at the end of the game by not shaking his hand. That's why I think Philadelphia really enjoys beating Tom Brady.
Oh, well, yeah. And, as Philadelphia, and they're underdogs this weekend, Bucks are going in the favorites. They underdog, and I hate to use that term, right? It brings us right back to 2018. However, It's who we are. It's part of our identity, the whole Rocky complex. I wrote an article on it once. I feel like that's why we love, kind of taking down the greats in anything, whether it's in football or basketball. It's always that extra, energy when you know that you're playing the greatest at the game.
Mhm.
So beating him, it's like a badge of honor for us because it's like, oh, well, the Eagles beat him, so Philadelphia beat something great.
Mhm.
I feel like that's why, especially when it comes to Tom, because very few have done so. So the fact that we never really got a chance to with anybody, we never won a Super Bowl. And then not only do we win a Super Bowl, we beat the greatest of all time. And then here we are still in it with them later. It's like it's still always going to have that meaning, even though we beat them in 2018.
Mhm. No, I know Jonathan Gannon hasn't been aggressive, and I know we love an aggressive defense, but really it comes down to, I think, the interior line play. Do you see Fletcher Cox having himself a good game?
He has to at this point. He's been he's been solid, but he hasn't been consistent as he has in the past. He's faced a lot of scrutiny, I think, more than he has in previous seasons, and he's definitely aging, and which is why the defense makes me nervous. You're looking at a veteran squad, whereas he's not the Fletcher Cox that we saw against Tom Brady in 2018, right? He's 3.5 years older now. We were watching him, not be as sharp and, kind of missing a step on the interior. And that's what does concern me. And because Tom is so laser focused, is the defense going to be quick enough to, to get to him or even attempt to get to him before he even gets the ball out?
Mm-hmm. I want to move it over to the offensive side of the football, talk a little bit about Jalen Hurts. I asked you about overall what's impressed you the most. You told me about accountability and Nick Sirianni. When you look at Jalen Hurts as a quarterback, what's impressed you about his year?
I love how his work ethic, his kind of his mentality, again, how he handled the year, I think, with grace. Really, I'm impressed with his. It seems as though he has decided or figured out, I think, towards the latter of the season, really how to make those quick decisions, where I feel like earlier in the season, he also was a step and a half behind, where I felt like he was kind of sacrificing the ball or not quite making the plays that he needed to, not quite finding the receivers and the routes, because it looked like he was overthinking it at sometimes. And I think that because he's such a versatile quarterback, right? Because he can run the ball and he can pass the ball. I think that there was some hesitation earlier in the season. And I think that what we've seen as the season goes on is, I think he's reading the field better. So he's able to execute and make better decisions, when it comes time for him to make them on the field.
Mm-hmm. I got to talk about the guy he took over for really at the end of last year in his 4 starts, Carson Wentz. It appears the Indianapolis Colts are already sick of Carson Wentz. Their GM came out yesterday and had a little talk saying that he couldn't confirm or deny whether or not any player was going to come back when he was asked about Carson Wentz. Why do you think it didn't work out here in Philly, and why do you think it's not working out again in Indianapolis?
Because he's cursed, maybe. I mean, no. I seriously, when I watched
at this point, he's just cursed. He's cursed.
When all that stuff went down over the weekend, I'm like, this guy's just cursed. Like I don't know what happened to him, or if the reports are true that he is kind of just like this guy that everybody can't vibe with.
Mm-hmm.
That has to be it, because I mean, you'd at least think that they would try and keep him on in some capacity, right? But the Colts are like, it's indicating, no, we don't want anything to do with him.
Whew.
Maybe he is the diva that they always said that he was. I mean, I don't know. It's just because I thought, look, the relationship in Philadelphia got so toxic, he had to go somewhere else. Indianapolis seemed like the right fit for him, but he just can't handle. I mean, he's overthinking it, he chokes. That's it. He overthinks and he chokes, and it's sad. And I think it's like, again, it's kind of like one of those like Ben Simmons situations. That's what it seems like to me.
Mm-hmm.
And like he suffers from it, like Ben suffers from it. It seems to be this like mental block that there's no, like, they can't like execute. It just like he just like forgets how to play.
Entitlement beyond the point of reeling back in.
Especially when you're so good your entire life.
That
right?
just came to me.
But I mean, I think that, and we've talked about this with, Carson Wentz and Ben Simmons forever. It's when you're so good at something your entire life and you're told that you're the greatest your entire life and you win championships and, you kind of have an easy go of it. When you face adversity, there's people who can bounce back from it and there's people who can't. For whatever reason, gives them this mental block. And then it's a shame because I still always felt that Carson had that potential. Even after he left the Eagles, I was like, you know what? He just needs a clean break, a fresh start, the Nick Foles thing. And there was a lot of like noise here. But it's a shame. I mean, you don't want to see that. I know he did a lot of good for Philadelphia. And I was actually stunned. But again, nothing surprises me in the NFL anymore. Like the fact that like Tom Brady is still just as good. It's nothing. It's 2022, but still like 2002.
No, I get you. I get you. Do the Eagles win on Sunday? They're going to beat the Bucs?
Yes.
You liar.
Go Eagles.
Do you think they'll cover? What do we got? 8.5? You think they'll cover?
No.
Oh man, look at you. When did you become a pessimist?
When, Mark?
It's an event.
I was born in Northeast Philadelphia.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Miss Guzzi. Anybody
I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a good experience, for the Eagles, for Jalen Hurts. I mean, I like to daydream and go in my mind to a place where they win, but realistically, I don't know if they're quite there yet.
40 to like 14. What are we thinking?
No, I was thinking like, I don't know, like 21, 32.
You're trying to skew it to sound more optimistic. No, I think anyone who's crossed Roosevelt Boulevard more than 1,000 times in their life is just, it has to be a pessimistic outlook. Yeah, not even pessimistic, just trying to be real, right? Just trying to be real. That's all it is. All right. Now,
I mean, I can. I mean, I can at this point.
Natalie, the last time you were on the show, which was actually just before football season, just before we got the new set, by the way. You didn't mention it, but that's fine. We played a little game. We played a little game called Complete the Quote with our favorite movie in the history of movies, Wayne's World, which won, I believe the proper term is a slew of Academy Awards. Yeah. Do you want to play round two?
They swept the Academy Awards. Yeah. Yes, I'd love to play round two.
Cinematography. Okay, now complete the quote. Now I do have one little caveat. There's one Wayne's World 2 question. I spiced it up a little bit. And then there's actually two. Yes, there's two actual trivia questions, not quotes.
Okay.
Not quotes. Okay. But here we go. All right, you ready to play?
Yes.
Complete the quote. Round 2, Wayne's World with Natalie Egenolf. Here we go. First question. Complete the quote. I've had plenty of Joe jobs, but nothing I call a career. But I do have an extensive collection of
hairnets, name tags, and hairnets.
Look at you. Amazing. I almost called you. I almost got you out there because you went to there's the one thing first, but then you got them both. You got them both. Okay.
Myself.
All right.
We're recording a little late here.
We're recording a little right. All right. We're 1 for 1. 1 for 1, or really 7 for 7, because I think you even got the bonus question last time. All right, here we go. Next one. I can't take it anymore. It's giving me a headache.
Have you tried? Oh, little. Nuprin. Little. Oh,
come on. Little. Color? What color is Nuprin?
Yellow. Blue? Yellow.
Yes, no, you got it. Yellow.
Little.
All right, no. We're taking it. No. Nuprin. Little. Yellow. Different. There we go. Was pitching a perfect game. What was the other one? Oh, here we go. Stan Mikita's Donuts. This is a trivia question. Stan Mikita's Donuts, okay? Wayne opens the door, and there's a random group of people behind the door. What are the people doing?
Wait, is this 1 or 2?
This is 1. Wayne's World 1.
Oh, so we went back to 1. Oh, when he goes into the donut shop?
He goes into the donut shop, he opens up a door, and randomly there's people behind that door. What are those people doing?
Is it when they're... No, it's not. That's when Garth... Is that when Garth is killing the jelly donut?
That was worth having it on just right there. Now, the scene, they make up at the end of the movie, towards the end of the movie, Wayne's World spoiler, Wayne and Garth make up, and they go, what are you going to do? I don't know. I got to figure out a way to get Cassandra back. They walk towards the door. Wayne opens the door, and Garth goes, what are you going to do with all these guys? And Wayne says, I don't know. I just always wanted to open a door to where people were training like a James Bond movie. Last one.
I like how my takeaway from that scene is the jelly donut.
The natives thought it was the man's soul rising out of his body. Anyway, I messed that quote up. All right, here we go. All right, last one. This in itself is worth 6 points. So if you get this, you got them all right. Here you go. In perfect Cantonese, can you repeat the phrase that Wayne first says to Cassandra in her native tongue?
No. No.
You want me to give it a shot, and then you could translate?
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Right.
Perfect Cantonese. Neholanga.
Wayne, you love Cantonese? Wayne, you know Cantonese?
Very good. You sound just like what was her name? It's not Cassandra.
And her name was Cassandra.
Cassandra. And then the other thing, her real name was Tia Carrere. Carrere.
I love her.
How could you not? And also was phenomenal in True Lies. People forget that.
She's phenomenal. One of the greatest.
As far as I'm concerned, you got them all right. Natalie Egenolf, always great catching up with you. Thank you so much. I appreciate the realism when it surrounds this Philadelphia Eagles football team. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mark.